Hey, it's Kevin. Welcome back to the Road Warrior. Here we are, the month of May already. Man, I don't know where 2025 flew by, but it's flying by. And I know for my sister-in-law it's even tougher, as her oldest will be graduating from high school in a couple of weeks. I've been in my sister Allison's life since she was 16 years old. And here she is now, getting ready to deal with the graduation of her eldest, who is now 18 years old, 19 this summer. And I've watched her struggle with all of that. And it's funny, you go through it yourself so many years ago, and you don't really even think what it's doing to your parents or how your parents are reacting. You're in the middle of the you part of it, of just wanting to move on, to move up, move on, get on with life. And while I see that in her son, he's picked the college he's going to and getting ready for that transition, I've seen her struggle with it. I've seen her struggle with, not that she doesn't have another one that's going to graduate next year, and then another one is going to graduate in 6 years, but it's just the struggle of how her life will change. Because, I don't want to say control, because she won't have control over the eldest. She won't know what he's doing at any given day. And it's just you're so used to a routine that she's had for the last 18 plus years that all of a sudden changes. Moving on for so many is tough. I've talked before, and I know I've said it. A boss I had worked with many years ago in radio, Mark Viviano, used to say, nobody likes change but a wet baby. And I always chuckled at that. That was one of his bivisms, as they called them. But I've always liked change because I get bored easily. I don't like change to be too quick and too often, but I like change. I like the adjustment. I like the evolution. I've loved watching my nephew Ray grow, get older, become a man. I enjoy him more than I've enjoyed him. And I enjoyed him as a kid, but I like it that now it's a different relationship because I'm not just his human jungle gym anymore. Because my God, the kid's now almost 6'6" tall, and there's no way he could do that. But part of the reason I walk slumped over these days is because I let all my nieces and nephews use me as a human jungle gym during the holidays. I didn't think it was going to do me any harm. That, having my head buried in a smartphone for 20 plus years professionally, yeah, my neck's in a hot mess. But I enjoy that change. I enjoy as relationships change. The relationship I have with my wife has evolved and changed. And some will say, oh, I yearn for the old days and I yearn for the old relationship, and I guess maybe that's true in some ways. But I don't look at it. I enjoy the change. I enjoy as time moves on and how we deal with that. I try not to be a static person, even though in a way I am. My life's not that exciting. There's not that much changing in my life other than time flying by. I get up, I go to my 9 to 5, I work 5 days a week, I come home, I hang out on the weekends with my wife, we may travel to see family every now and again, we may go out and do some errands, but there aren't a lot of trips for us anymore. Our biggest, longest vacation last year wasn't even really a vacation. It was a Memorial Day weekend trip to Illinois to see a friend of mine open up a museum. And other than some long driving and, some cool meals and a little shopping and spending time with, with him and all the people who were enjoying the museum, that was it. It wasn't like it was a week-long vacation on the beach or to Cancun or to California or Las Vegas or anything like that. Pretty simple. Pretty basic. I don't know. It's interesting how we all deal with that factor of moving on. How we all deal with change. How quick, how slow, how rapid. It's so different for all of us. And while I don't wish my sister-in-law could do it better, I just wish she had peace. And maybe she does, or maybe it'll take time. I don't know, but I worry about that. Because again, like I said, I love the fact that it's changing. That relationships evolve and change, and we all evolve and change. It's part of what makes life worth living, don't you think? Back next week, another Road Warrior, kevinmason.us. on Facebook, on YouTube. You know where to find us. You know the drill. Come on back next week. Give us a comment. Hit the like button. Tell a friend. Hit that share button. We'll see you next week with another Road Warrior. Thanks.